What's up, guys, and welcome back. This week the temperatures are starting to come down a bit, and we're spending more time outside. So let's build the kids a sand table so they can be distracted while I fix up the backyard, and let's double it as a coffee table so that way I only have to have one table on the patio. All right, to start this project off, I have no plans, I have no beard, but what I do have is an idea, and I found this concrete mixing bin. This is the larger of the two that they sell at Lowe's, and I'm just gonna get all of my measurements off of this and cut accordingly. Now, when it came to cutting these miters, I have to admit I had a complete brain fart. I would not do it this way if I did it again, but at the end of the day, I got nice tight miter joints and I got to keep all of my fingers. So what's done is done. I realize that this is not the safest method to do this. If I was going to do it again, I would do it with my track saw. I did have good control over my lumber. This is really lightweight stock. This is just pine, and I did get good joints. So there you go. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the build. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Make sure you like the video, that helps me reach a larger audience. And if you've been a fan of the channel for a while or you are a new fan, check down below. There's some new merchandise options ready for you. Okay, so we got this guy out of clamps, and as you can probably already see, we ran into a little bit of an issue. I got a little bit of twist when I took this guy out of clamps. So at some point during my glue up, all of my miters line up perfectly, but maybe one of them was off and it caused this little bit of twist. Now, this is stuff that just kind of happens when you're building things. And the good part about woodworking is, I have all of the tools at my disposal to fix this issue. Being a good woodworker isn't about making projects and not making mistakes throughout. You're going to make mistakes. Being a good woodworker is about knowing how to fix your mistakes. So I have a little stack of wedges here. I'm going to set it underneath so it's nice and stable, and I'm going to show you how to fix this. If you're new to woodworking, you could get discouraged by things like this. This is stuff that happens in every single project. Don't listen to people in the comment section who are going to say this stuff never happens to me, because I can guarantee you they either don't do woodworking or they're just flat out lying. This stuff happens to literally everybody. and you can't control if wood is going to twist for whatever reason. This stuff was completely dry when I started working with it. Like I said, being a good woodworker is about knowing how to fix your issues. So let's show you how to fix it. So first things first, I started out with wedging that corner. This gives me a nice sturdy base. I'm gonna measure from the corner that's below. This should be 8 3/4. It is. I'm gonna measure on this side, making sure I am up against the table, 8 3/4, and I will make a mark. Now I'll come back to this side, 8 3/4. It's right here. So that is actually at the very top. And then that means this one should be as well. 8 3/4. Okay, so now I'll connect that line to this. And it's just barely not long enough. So this will work better as a straight edge. So I'll connect this line and then I'll know how much to cut off along the way. I'm gonna clean this up with a hand plane and that'll give me a nice solid base. Then you'll see me flip it and kind of do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we'll be back to perfectly square. We'll verify that this little tub still fits, and business as usual. So let's get to it. These all go to the grill. Okay, so now we flipped it over and we've got a nice stable base. The bottom side right now is perfectly flat. Now, to remedy the top, we can do the same thing. We can measure the corners, the opposite corners, and then just kind of line it up all the way around the way, clean it up with a combination of the handsaw and this old boy. Or, since we have one flat reference side, we can actually take it over to the table saw and do it that way. The same way you would cut the top off of a jewelry box or something like that. So we're gonna go that route because that's quicker, that's easier. And then we can get started on the legs as well as a way for the actual top to sit on this consistently without sliding. So we'll think of something while we're doing all the other part. So let's get started on that. all better. Easy fix. Don't get discouraged when stuff like that happens. It happens all the time. And don't be fooled by those of us on YouTube who can simply cut that out and fix it in the background. These mistakes happen to everybody who builds, and you just got to learn how to fix it. Okay, so I realized that we lost some footage due to overheating, and it was regarding how I actually got the legs stuck together. So what I did was I used some CA glue for these seams and just a couple drops of wood glue. That gave me a strong enough hold where I could round over the corners. I could do my threaded inserts. And then I went through and I added the little spine that you see here. I'll put another little video of a closer look. And it's just a spine going through the top, and that's gonna hold everything nice and sturdy. So now I'm gonna clean up this top with a hand plane, and then I'll just kind of get really close to the sides with the saw, and then we'll clean it up thoroughly all the way with sanding. This is pine, so it's really soft wood, and let's get that taken care of.
I gave my stain a full 24 hours to dry, and then I went over it with this Thompson's water seal. Now I checked on their website and it said you can use it over an oil-based or a water-based stain, but you just have to make sure everything's completely dry. This is the Thompson's water seal for deck. I don't know if there's a different one. And this is the golden color. So it's mostly transparent, slightly tinted. It does bring a little bit warmer feel to the stain that I already put on it, but more importantly, it'll make this supposedly completely UV proof and water resistant, and it should be perfect for outdoors. The kids aren't going to be too hard on the table, hopefully, but we'll see.
All right, overall, I think that was a successful build. I liked that I got to play around with some new techniques, particularly the table legs. I got to play around with a brand new finish as well. And after a bit of testing, it did seem to be pretty water resistant. This is a great build since the holiday season is coming up that you can make as a gift for people who have kids, or you can just make them for the little ones themselves. All in all, the materials for this project aren't too pricey. You can build it for under $100. It's cheaper and more durable than any of the ones that I found on Amazon. So now that the weather is cooling down, we're gonna build some other projects outside. I have plans for probably like a lounging sofa out there. And then we've got to get some gates up on the sides to separate the sides of the house from the backyard, so that way we can keep little ones at bay. And then final on our list, I don't know if we'll get to it this year. If we don't, and it starts to get too cold too fast, then we'll have to wait till spring. But I'm gonna build a grill deck, and that's gonna be a pretty big project. We'll do solar panels up top, so that way it's on a completely different grid, I guess, than the house is. Electrically speaking, it's gonna be completely self-sufficient. Until then, and until the next video, you guys stay safe in the shop, go build something awesome, and I will see you soon.